Track and field takes New York. The fastest women on the planet. A crowd to witness history. And a venture capitalist betting that women's sports have achieved escape velocity.
It is pretty incredible. So I get it. I get how this could be a thing.
Can Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of Reddit, prove his biggest wins are still ahead?
I look at Formula One, the scale of that. It is an amazing business. It's humans going as fast as possible from point A to point B in cars, in horses. Those are great sports. These are humans just doing it with their own legs. And if we can't make that as big of a story or even bigger, I might as well find something else to do.
For 2 decades, Ohanian has amassed a fortune betting on ideas others overlook. He co-founded Reddit when social media was in its infancy, found success as an early-stage investor, and has helped launch the recent boom in professional women's sports. But there have been hurdles along the way. There was a messy exit from Reddit, a venture partnership dissolved, and a power struggle over a soccer team. All on top of the pressures of being Mr. Serena Williams and his determination to lean into his role as the father of 2 young girls.
Do you get recognized?
Nah. It depends on the context. Like in the Bay Area, more often, ironically, just because of the whole tech scene thing. Certainly there's still folks who are like, hey, Reddit guy. There's obviously plenty of folks who are like, hey, Serena's husband. There's even a few who are like Olympia's dad, which is wonderful. It's also a little weird because I'm like, she's 8. She hasn't done anything yet.
He's built a reputation on Reddit nostalgia and tech idealism. But in the cutthroat worlds of venture capital and sports, is that enough to get you over the finish line?
Are you ready for your AMA?
Bring it, yeah, oh yeah.
We are on our way uptown to meet Alexis. We're gonna start our day at a sneaker store.
All right. Let's look for some shoes.
All right, hopefully they got size 15.
Are you really a size 15?
Yeah.
Wait, let me see that.
Are you?
I'm not a size
Not
15.
in that neighborhood.
You need to pick out a shoe. Don't you pick out shoes for special events?
I do. You did the research.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at the branding, we have like a kind of Athlos magenta. Actually, this one's not bad. So it might be a little too matchy with the
matches your
jacket.
outfit.
But you think?
I mean,
I'm not great on the colors. My wife's really good at the color coordination thing.
Before he married tennis legend Serena Williams, and before he co-founded Reddit, Ohanian was a middle-class kid with roots in Brooklyn.
I managed to talk my parents into getting me a computer. It was a big investment, and then an internet connection. And even though they had no idea what I was doing on that computer, I found strangers on the internet willing to help me with learning how to code. And so that feeling that software provided, and then the access to the knowledge freely given by experts to me, a dorky kid in my parents' house, was life-changing.
Fast forward to Ohanian's senior year at the University of Virginia, where he and his roommate Steve Huffman pitched tech incubator Y Combinator on a mobile food app. But YC founder Paul Graham encouraged them to work on something else, a startup that could serve as the front page of the internet.
you were in the inaugural Y Combinator class, 2005, with
21 years ago, almost 20 years ago.
With Sam Altman.
It's a good crew.
Steve Huffman, your co-founder at Reddit,
That's
the Twitch
right.
guys.
Twitch guys, Justin Nemeth. In 2005, it was an eclectic group of folks in that first YC batch. It was not normal to want to do a startup in 2005. And that was the genius of YC. They realized this opportunity before everyone else did. Let's give, for us, it was $12,000 for 2 college kids to go build a company. Maybe it could one day be worth billions. You know, Sam is the one exception. I think he had a roadmap to what tech could be in the world. Speaking for myself, I was just happy to not have a boss. I was just happy to, you know, build something that I cared about every day and build something that just seemed fun.
This was just 1 year after Mark Zuckerberg had started the Facebook, and 1 year before Twitter got off the ground. The internet was just starting to wake up to the idea that users, not editors, could be the driving force for content. Ohanian and Huffman's site went all in on this concept, a site they named Reddit. The memes, the inside jokes, the crowdsourced investigations, even Snoo, the mascot, which Ohanian drew himself, would, for many, define internet culture of that era.
This is the zeitgeist for 250 million people.
After a year of building, Reddit was courted by Condé Nast. Ohanian and Huffman sold for a reported $10 million, life-changing money for them at the time, but in hindsight, a pittance for a company that today is valued at close to $35 billion. Ohanian went on to become a partner at Y Combinator, where he mentored startups and co-founded Initialize Capital with Gary Tan, a firm that backed companies like Instacart and Coinbase. But Ohanian decided to go it alone, starting his own venture firm, 776, named after the date of the first Olympic Games.
What's your snapshot on where venture capital is at the moment? It's been a really difficult environment.
Yeah.
What's your take?
There's a middle of VC firms that are just, as the kids would say, mid, that are probably going to have a really hard time because they can't get into the deals that the biggest and baddest firms can easily get into and have the capital to get into. And I think you're in a business where there are these outsized mega firms, right? The Sequoias, the Andreessens, but also the sort of newer generations like the Thrives. And they will continue to get more and more capital as they clearly are, the big dogs with the war chest that can double down in those big winners at the later stage. And then at the early stage, there are firms, I like to believe 776 is one of them, that can win against all comers and that have a clear value proposition and want to be the best early.
Through 776, Ohanian has backed an eclectic portfolio, including companies like Doji, which lets users virtually try on clothes, Mast, a forest restoration company, Feastables, the snack brand launched by Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, and Monumental Labs, where they're using robots to make stone construction scalable. Today, Ohanian is capturing footage to post to his social media followers. It's part of the 776 playbook. Capital plus megaphone.
Boop.
Ohanian made his most famous VC bet 5 years ago, in an asset class most of his peers had long ignored. Women's sports. On season 1 of The Circuit, he told us how it came to pass.
In 2019, I drunkenly tweeted from the Women's World Cup that women's soccer was the most undervalued opportunity in sports. And a bunch of people on Twitter said, all right, you know what, Alexis, put your money where your mouth is.
He went in with 3 partners to buy Angel City Football Club, bringing capital from 776, along with additional investment from Serena.
What was your relationship to women's sports before Serena?
Non-existent. As a casual American sports fan, if you just ask us, close your eyes and think of American soccer excellence, you can only think of women, because the men have never been great. And so it all starts with the money. None of this, you're never gonna hear me talking about the charity of it, the social issues, the feminism. No. This is excellence. This is the market rewarding excellence. And looking around, I just couldn't believe that these other sports, soccer especially, where there isn't a strong male counterpart in America, why there wasn't something.
Yeah.
Just 4 years later, the club's value had soared from $2 to $250 million. Along the way, there were reports of infighting over the team's direction. It was later bought by Disney CEO Bob Iger and his wife Willow Bay, and Ohanian moved on to fund other sports ventures. A UK women's soccer team, a women's sports bar franchise, a team in Tiger Woods' golf league, and a professional women's volleyball team. And we haven't even gotten to Athlos. What's Athlos, you say?
The future of track and field, really like a Formula One type model. Building is a Formula One for track and field. Let's build a Formula One of track and field.
In case you missed that, Athlos is Ohanian's take on Formula One meets track and field. Part racing, part spectacle, and definitive proof that Alexis Ohanian's marketing muscle is everything, everywhere, all at once. From a launch party at Tiffany, which made sparkling crowns for the winners, to an electrifying long jump qualifier in Times Square featuring gold medalist Tara Davis Woodhall. To Randall's Island in New York City, where all roads lead to the second annual Athlos event, a track meet Ohanian wants to take on the road and around the world. Women's sports are having a moment. We're seeing what's happening with soccer. The WNBA is having a moment, but also there's a lot of controversy around these sports. And so there's a question about what happens when you fast track a league to prominence, how do you have the correct leadership and the correct vision in place to sustain that momentum?
Can you explain the various revenue streams, the broadcast rights, the sponsorships, the merch, the ticket sales, the athletes getting a cut?
Yeah.
How does it all work together, and when does this become profitable?
So for any emerging league, those media deals you see for the NFL, NBA, billions of dollars, that is a long ways away. So we said from jump, we're not going to try to make a little bit of revenue out of the gate for broadcast. I'd rather make no money and instead reach millions of people. So last year, we made no money on broadcast, but we reached 3 million viewers because we were everywhere. YouTube, X, DAZN, ESPN+, ESPN2. This year, we actually added ION. And then one of the important things we did was we set the record for prize money last year simply by doubling the top prize. It was only $30,000. We made it 60. And we want to work in concert with our athletes. So 10% of all the revenue in sum from this event also goes into a pool that goes to all those athletes. When you're buying merch, when you're buying hot dogs, you're buying tickets, that revenue comes together.
When Athlos expands next year, 3 top athletes will also have equity. Tara Davis-Woodhall and sprinters Sha'Carri Richardson and Gabby Thomas. And that means a voice in shaping Athlos.
When Alexis called you and said he wanted to start Athlos, what did you say you wanted? Like, what was your advice?
Well, he asked me, he's like, what do you want as an athlete? And I was like, I want to see that long jump be as sexy as the 100-meter dash. And he asked me, what's my dream? I told him my dream is street meets. So I told him, it would be cool to jump in Times Square. And he was like, Times Square. And I said, Times Square.
What does this event mean to you, being not just an athlete here, but an owner?
It means everything. I mean, for Athlos to listen to me and hear what I have to say, and I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed for everything that has come my way, including this crown and including $60K in my account. We've already been paid. I haven't even finished cooling down yet, and I've been paid.
Instant payouts to athletes put some ground between Athlos and Grand Slam track. GST, which is backed by gold medalist Michael Johnson, and a venture firm chaired by Bill Ackman, promised prizes up to $100,000 for winners, but limped out of the gate, plagued by low attendance, loss of backers, and complaints that prize money was slow in making its way to athletes, including a reported $180,000 owed to Gabby Thomas.
Michael Johnson tried to do this with Grand Slam track.
Yeah.
You famously tweeted, please pay me.
Because I'm serious about that, right? We dedicate so much to sport and we put so much out there. I expect payment.
Yeah.
And so Athlos is committed to making that happen instantly.
Grand Slam track has since secured more funding, with reports it's planning to reboot the league and has begun to pay money owed to athletes.
What makes you think this is going to be different?
Well, I think this is going to be different because I'm a part of it. And I know Alexis. We all have equity in it. So we want this to work, and we're not signing up for anything that we don't believe in fully. So we're committed to getting paid.
Okay, if you want to interview the athletes, what do you want to ask them?
I want to ask what's their favorite motion?
What's their favorite
color?
That's good.
And are you enjoying Athlos?
Good one.
Yeah.
And you want to lead that question a little bit. You want to lead them and say, how great of a time are you having out there? So they already feel primed to say good stuff, right?
Okay, here's another one. Who's your favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete is Mom.
What? What?
Good answer.
What about Papa?
You're not an athlete.
That's true. That's very true.
But this guy is. Noah Lyles is best known for capturing gold in the 100 meters at the 2024 Olympics.
How pumped are you to be here?
I'm pretty excited. I ain't gonna lie. I love a spectacle. That's what I'm here for.
What's your take on Athlos? Like, do you think this is an inflection point for track and field?
It's up to Athlos to decide, to be honest. Right now, it's kind of an all-star meet with the ability to turn into something, but it's gonna be up to them to really push the boundaries of what it can be.
How hard is it to get paid what you're worth as a professional athlete?
In my sport, very hard. Very hard. I still don't think I get paid what I'm worth.
By sunset, the talking's done, the stage is set, and the crowd is primed to see Olympic-level competition.
Go Tara! Let's go Tara! So I've never been to a track and field meet, but this is really cool. Like, to see these athletes up close doing their thing. Like, these are the fastest women in the world, and it is pretty incredible. So I get it. Like, I get how this could be a thing.
Don't ever doubt yourself. There are endless possibilities in this world. Just give yourself a chance.
All right. Well, let's give yourself the Tiffany's crown.
As Athlos comes to a close, Sierra takes the stage, and the city that never sleeps is already moving on to tomorrow's headlines. For Ohanian, it means a new chance to promote his projects and go toe-to-toe against the internet's trolls. Just a week before Athlos, he found himself in the crosshairs after speaking out against immigration raids.
If I have, I think, 10 million people saying, some just vile stuff, about me on Twitter because I tell the story of my mom who was an undocumented immigrant, fine. Like I would rather have that statement in the public record. If I had tweeted that 5 years ago, it wouldn't have certainly met that level of toxicity and criticism.
And it's not just politics. The day before Athlos, Ohanian was defending Serena against ESPN personality Stephen A. Smith, who'd questioned her motives for performing at Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show.
If I'm married and my wife is going to join trolling her ex, go back to his ass. Because clearly you don't belong with me.
Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or?
Well, you know what? Listen, I didn't. People, headlines are headlines.
You do not shy away from a debate.
You know it.
Your beef with Stephen A. Smith, how's that going?
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, why do you, it does seem like you're out there sticking up for Serena.
Yeah, well, what would any husband do? I think is a simple, it's sort of self-evident, right?
What do you say to the folks out there right now who are like, well, you created the platform that enabled this kind of trolling discussion?
Yeah. On the social media side, look, the same reason that I felt a responsibility to step away when I did the way I did is the reason why I have so much peace moving the way that I move now. Because, I can't change the past, but I can learn from it and I can do better. And so that's my job.
While Reddit achieved steady growth in the years after Ohanian and Huffman sold, it was increasingly plagued by hate groups and toxic communities. In 2014, Ohanian was brought back as executive chair to right the ship. But he left in 2020, 4 years before Reddit went public.
A lot was made of the fact that you weren't at the IPO.
Was it?
Yes.
Really?
Why weren't you there?
Well, I wasn't invited. I did not expect to be invited, though, given the fact that I resigned in protest in 2020. That was a very public statement in order to get the company to finally ban some of these communities. I'd already had opposition about communities like Watch People Die and some of these really violent and racist communities. And yeah.
So there is some bad blood or hurt feelings or bruised egos?
Not for me. But here's the thing. The way I look at it, I've got plenty more IPOs to go to.
Ohanian's resignation came on the heels of the George Floyd protests. In his public statement, he urged the company to replace him with a black board member. And Reddit did, appointing Michael Seibel, then CEO of Y Combinator.
Why leave rather than lean in to fix what was broken?
When you're in a boardroom, especially when you've been the founder and face of a company for 15 years, you're in a boardroom with 4 other people, and they're all telling you why the Watch People Die community is an important part of Reddit and why we need to preserve that community in spite of your protests because of free speech and because of how helpful it is for first responders, whatever bullshit. When you come out of a board meeting like that and you go home to your wife, as I did, and I'm saying God, am I the crazy one? Am I wrong on this? Because I know this community is full of snuff videos, suicide videos, murder videos, mostly of people in the developing world, because that's how that video footage gets leaked out. Mm-hmm. And there are millions of people on Reddit who come to this and discuss it and share and bond. And that feels vile. That feels wrong. It's not something I'm proud of. But when you're told, and the room is very obviously against you and told, no, don't worry about it, you're wrong. It was a weird, very surreal experience. Serena clocked it real quick. She was like, no, those people are crazy. Watch People Die is a horrible community, and you're absolutely right. And thank God I had one person in my life who at least was able to call that bull. that I feel very fortunate that I'm never gonna have to be in a room like that again.
Reddit said in a statement that it was widely agreed upon to ban Watch People Die in 2019, and that 2,000 other communities were banned for violating Reddit's policy on hateful content in 2020, the year Ohanian left the company. Lessons learned, Ohanian is now taking another stab at social media. He and the former CEO of Dig, Kevin Rose, once arch rivals, are teaming up to revive Dig.
I mean, I really disliked you for a long time, and
rightfully so.
And
which has been rebranded as a community with humanity at its core. But humanity doesn't seem to attract eyeballs much these days.
If the engine of virality is extremism, and Dig is supposed to be the antidote, how do you drive engagement?
I think what we found in authentic human online community is it's the last bastion of really high quality content. And so whether you want to know an opinion about a movie, whether you want to know about a camera to buy, there is always going to be real value there. But what I worry about is there is this flywheel of, if we know these models are trained on content that are now largely botted or AI generated, that authenticity loop breaks down real quick, and that trust breaks down real quick. There clearly needs to be some other version of, if you just want to show up and, find a community of people who love cameras, where do you go to get authentic, real human reviews of those things?
In a world increasingly crowded by bots and algorithms, Ohanian is once again betting on community. On the pitch, the track, in our cities, and even in social media. The question now becomes, can a master of marketing sell us back on authenticity?
What advice would you give founders today that's different than what you got back then?
The biggest advice, which Paul Graham put on everyone's shirt, and I think it still holds true, which is make something people want. In 20 years now, I can say, having started multiple companies, seeded many more, that founding principle never goes away. I think the founders for today need to know just how much responsibility they have. So I would say, move decisively, move earnestly, be aware of what you're building, and know that this responsibility starts right now for building something that is going to have a very big impact on the world.